the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
So now it's all live.
I'm going to throw away my wrapper.
Good.
This is the little ASMR. Stands for
Oh, yeah. Get your candy fix now.
Get your candy fix.
American Sound Monkey Recording.
Get a real I've got eating a candy cane. Special.
Hey, guys.
Oh, are we? Oh, is that how we do it here?
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
actually, you know what that means?
What's that?
I'm starting the show right there.
What?
Right after the theme song comes in, I'm
no.
starting it with the wrinkling of the wrapper and Clayton going, oh, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
That's how we do it to our
Why
guests.
wouldn't we start there? It is New Year's Eve.
The audience deserves to hear what Clayton, the thunder that Clayton brings.
You deserve it. You deserve it, you naughty audience.
They're an audience.
They are. Oh, that's so good.
That is so good.
An audience.
It's an audience. Guys, we did it.
We'd like to thank our entire audience for showing up.
Oh my gosh, we need a show that would justify having an audience, as in like a Biofriendly podcast after dark.
Well, I tell you what, if we're going to do that, Clayton has to be the third host of that show.
Oh, of course.
I'll dress up as Chris Kringle. Kiddies, have you been naughty or nice?
This is changing my perspective on Christmas.
Well, obviously, we all got coal in our stocking because now it's like a week later. And now we're with our naughtiness.
Yeah. We all failed on Christmas. We
did.
all got coal, and,
So
and
instead of trying,
it's like, why
we
try?
give up.
Why give up?
Because all the good kids are like out having like fun with their toys.
Right, we're just sitting here going, I did the best I could.
What else have we got? We got the Biofriendly podcast to listen to.
Yeah.
that's all we have.
That's all we have left.
We only have you and the an audience.
That's right. That's right. With our waters.
That's true. These are not vodka.
They're not vodka.
They're not
no
gin. No.
The old Russian water trick.
Mine's the old Russian water trick. This is, and so, listener, if you're tuning in for the first time ever on our podcast, if you chose for some reason New Year's Eve, like, hey, I'm going to start the show right here, right now, and you don't know what the heck is going on.
How
A lot of
dare
people
you,
do
sir?
that.
Yeah, they do.
How dare you?
Yeah, this is a time-honored tradition, one that we almost didn't make happen this year, but we thankfully pulled it off. This is your third time on the show?
I think this is my third.
Third
Wow.
time.
That's right.
So you and Sean both, it was the same year we started that
Same
tradition.
year, yes.
Pardon, I'm eating while I talk.
That's fine.
Isn't that great for podcasts?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's,
Would you like some gum too?
Yeah.
our
That'd be great. It'd be
our
wonderful.
show is 90% listening only, so it's
Yeah,
perfect.
So I don't have to talk.
yeah. Don't worry about it. No, but this is a
Biofriendly podcast. The only podcast where your hosts listen.
we listen to you. We listen to you. You just kick off the show and you just go on.
This is Biofriendly. We're listening.
We're listening.
Go on.
These guys just listen to me. Actually, there are people that would probably like that.
Yeah, they'd
They
love
would
to just
get their car.
Just get in their car and talk and know that somebody's listening.
My work is going terrible, and we're just going.
Wow.
You know, I feel heard with this podcast.
Wow. Gosh, really?
I feel heard.
Oh my, really? Wow.
That's good.
Ah, that's a point.
Yeah.
That's a point.
Then what?
Right? But then we mess up the timing.
Yeah.
That we have like a chuckle in there, and they're like, I think I might be dying.
That's good.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
That's
you know,
good.
Trust that instinct.
That's Follow your gut. Follow your gut. But
Well, we dressed up.
we dressed up. We dressed up, and we.
I think I did the least, so I'm gonna
Okay.
show and
Show-
share
please
mine
show
first
yours
because I
first.
did. All right,
Show
so
and tell.
these are my New Year's pajamas. I wore the real things.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stand for the people who are watching.
Oh, no, put that away. Oh, jeez.
Sorry, that was
Stand
That was for the people
in
who are
the
not
place where
watching.
you
too
pod.
much. Bit too much.
Oh, it's good.
Bit too much. But yeah, so basically I've got a shirt. That's my pajama shirt. It says, if it requires pants, it's not happening.
This is true.
And that's the way I feel.
It is New Year's.
That's the way I feel. And then I got the classic,
It's a bit of a tartan, really.
a little bit.
It's a bit of a Scottish tartan.
That's
isn't it?
definitely your
Scottish-
clan. you're wearing.
Scottish tartan in
That's
red.
right. It's the Red Baron
red.
tartan.
I got these because my daughter, actually, she wanted the whole family to have this kind of pattern and these sort of pants. So we all have similar pants going on.
Okay.
And I guess
love
it's
it.
very popular right now. Kids just wear pajamas to school. It's the new thing.
Really?
Oh, is that the thing?
That's the new
So
hotness?
that's what high school kids are doing.
Yeah?
Pajama
Okay.
pants and almost nothing else.
Boy, it sure beats the crisscross backwards thing we had when we were
true.
growing up. I tell you.
Yeah, good band though.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good band. Well, I'm always
make
up
me
to
jump.
Yeah, so these kids are dabbing and wearing these pants and have their fidget spinners. So they're doing all these really relevant modern things that are popular right now.
Really relevant modern
Dabbing
things.
and yeah, that's
Dabbing
right.
and fidget spinners.
Yeah, that's right.
spinners,
That's
for
right.
sure.
Yeah. No, that was not 8 years ago. That was like now.
Those could be great again.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
They could make a comeback.
I just love them so much.
I
They
actually really enjoy them. Whenever
my
I would
God.
get my hands on one, I would
Yeah.
sit there for hours and just
the
do
stress relief.
it. It was such stress relief.
Yeah,
it was
good.
They should make their way into like regular adult life. You know, just kind of sitting around, just like
Oh, if this was not a PG show,
I know.
I would just.
it's very true. Very true. You're being so well
I'm
behaved.
just
lately.
doing so there's so
great.
much of me that wants to make a joke about fidget spinners.
I know. I know.
Clayton's fidget spinner was enormous.
Listen, guys. It didn't start out that way.
No, you gave it some.
You had some procedures done.
I did.
adjustments.
Just minor surgery. Just minor surgery.
Well, Clayton and Sean, if they get to 5 years, we're gonna have to do like a blazer or something, like a Biofriendly podcast 5 timers club.
Nice.
Right?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Like, I feel like if you're on the show 5 times, you get like a
I wonder
jacket.
if we could do almost like an Avengers crossover where like we actually go on the same show, or maybe I take the Christmas and he takes the.
Oh, yeah, maybe
and then we
one-
just miss each other.
Yeah, maybe we swap
could do
them.
a double whammy.
We could do a double whammy.
where you're both on both shows.
That would be that actually would be so long of an episode.
There's
That's
not
a
enough.
fifth anniversary.
Yeah.
Madness.
5th anniversary is we bring them both in at the same time. And that will
And
be
then we can present them their
Yeah.
awards,
Yeah.
and they can do the double whammy.
yeah, double whammy.
Yeah, that and there was not enough room in the frame
Yeah,
to have
yeah.
4 people.
We might have to get a wider desk.
Yeah. We're gonna need a bigger desk,
Yeah.
like they say in Jaws.
That's right.
Well, or just gonna throw this out here.
Hmm.
Sean takes my chair and I lay across the table.
Better. That's better.
That's
that better?
That's so much better. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's-
it's
and
your-
we can put sushi on you.
Yes.
And eat sushi off of your robe.
Noel
It'll be great.
loves sushi.
You do love sushi.
Ooh, I love it.
It's so good.
Every time I go to Sugarfish, I eat the
stuff is
sushi,
so good.
and I say, "Wow, this is so good."
I think Noel's the only guy that ever goes to Sugarfish and says
good.
that ironically.
I
Because the
know,
rest of us
right?
go, oh my gosh, this
we
is
are
amazing.
blown away by how good that sushi is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I understand that it's good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Conceptually, I
Because
get.
we're saying words and you hear them.
Yeah.
So you know that it must be good because my friends are saying it.
Conceptually, I get that it's. I can see how it's good for people. People really, really like it.
As
My-
a fellow human,
Yes.
I understand raw fish is good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
sure they're picking up that
I'd
Noel's
like
not
to
a fan.
subscribe to the sushi podcast.
Yeah.
Learn more about it.
Yeah, you should.
This one is the yellowtail with a side of albacore.
Wow, that's awesome.
Actually, I would kill to listen to a sushi themed podcast where one of the people on the show doesn't like sushi. Like, why did they get on the show? But it makes it great because they're just like,
Is that a ponzu that I'm sensing? My God.
oh my god.
What
What's
is
what's
Chef Yokohama doing
what's
with this
that
one?
smell? What's happening in here?
Then he has to eat it. He's like, I just don't like sushi.
Jesus. You put seaweed on it again?
That's how it comes, Noel. All right, it's Clayton's turn to model. It's your turn to model your attire. What do you got?
My
Yeah.
mic is dead.
Oh, it is? Oh, no, it's just the feedback protection.
Oh, did I go so loud?
Yeah, what happened is you laughed.
Don't worry,
There
I
it
do
is.
that.
You know,
that every
Talia
show.
would get on me about that one and be like, listen,
Oh.
Clay, I love your laugh, but just don't laugh so loud.
How many times has she had to, in our lives, come out to the backyard where we're supposed to be quiet and
We have
talking
all been in trouble.
and then she comes
Yeah.
out and she's like, "What is wrong with you
Well,
guys?"
the problem is
It's
our
2
production
o'clock.
meetings always start at like midnight.
I know.
Yeah,
and
well,
it's
we're
like,
working.
yeah, we're working. It's 2 o'clock in the
It's our
morning.
other jobs.
Honey, we're working. Yes, so I am currently, I don't really have a
New Year's attire?
Yeah, because like, listen, I just sleep during New Year's, so I've
yeah.
got my Christmas thing, and
We
I've
have
got
seasonal attire.
I do.
seasonal.
So here's my.
Oh, look at this.
Here's my. But the little extra is that if you whack this side, you whack that side.
Oh, see,
Oh,
he's
this one
whacking.
dead.
No, your sweater
He's
died?
He's dead on this.
He's dead.
But no, so this is my little my light up sweater. Wow.
You got some pajama pants on.
I do. I also have a tartan pajama
It
pants.
is great. Just for those of you who are listening only, there's a reindeer with that is just seems to have flown through some Christmas lights, and those Christmas lights are all tangled up in the antlers. And then some of them, if you whack them, actually the lights actually still turn on. So they're still plugged in somewhere.
And the reindeer is wearing some glasses like he was at a rave, so he's a rave deer.
Looks a bit like rave
rave
deer.
deer.
Yeah,
Rave deer.
That's a Geordie LaForge quality. And his pants are a wonderful green kind of plaid thing happening.
Yeah, I'm the rival gang for your tartan.
You are.
Yeah, that's right. So pretty soon claymores are coming out and we're fighting.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Today's episode will feature the broadsword.
The broadsword, known as the thing that lops off the head.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is.
Or as I like to call it, my pocket knife.
That's right.
That's right.
If you'll take a moment to look at me letter opener.
That's right. Jacob.
All right.
What do you reckon here, sir?
I actually chose the same shirt that I wore last year because I was watching the video and I was like, why not? Let's do that one
good
again.
one.
It's a Young Frankenstein shirt that says, "Hello, handsome." And I love it so much.
So good with Gene Wilder making the face.
Gene Wilder making a face. This was a gift from my brother, and it just feels like the right New Year's Eve shirt. So I have that. I have my robe on, so I added the robe, which was a bad idea because I'm the sweatiest of the bunch.
This is true.
But you
And I-
look so good.
I know.
You
I feel,
do. It frames.
I need
it frames the whole picture.
I need a pipe. That's what
I
I
have a
need.
pipe.
do.
Do you want it?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe after the show. But then I have my brand new PJ pants.
Look at this. He's
So-
standing up to show
those
you
are
everybody.
the
They look kind of sporty, don't they? They
Yeah.
look
Very
like
sporty.
like a sport team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kinda, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Those
So-
are
Yeah,
the
Michigan? Michigan?
me and sports we don't
Yeah,
do well.
definitely. You're the Lansing ant wranglers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lansing and
Yep,
Wranglers.
that's
Yeah.
me. That's me. That's my favorite team.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So that's the attire that we're all rocking today, and we're gonna actually do something that we've never done ever for Clayton's episode.
Yeah.
But we got kind of inspired
Yeah.
for Clayton's episode.
Yeah. Well, wait, we've done something similar in another
close.
episode, but not this.
No,
No, go
we're
ahead,
shaking
sorry.
it up again.
We are. We are.
Around Halloween, look, we've been on the air for going on 4 years, coming up this next spring, which is crazy to me. This is episode 195, 195 episodes.
You're
And
catching up to the Simpsons, by
I
the way, at
know,
this point.
and we're almost paid as much.
Congratulations, guys.
The Simpsons never got into the Smithsonian.
No, they never did. Never did. Yeah,
It's true.
But we had a lot of episodes. So when you get to fun times of year, you go, let's have a little bit more. Let's cut loose a little bit. And on Halloween, we did this thing where we got the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. We read through the children's book, but Noel and I improvised elements as we went through that would try to connect to sustainability, and we came up with an entire snail adventure.
Yes.
that was timeless and will now go on and be one of the most.
Well, I can't imagine Sleepy Hollow without it.
I can't either.
It was a really good episode.
It was a
by the
really
way.
good episode.
I really like that episode.
And so
great.
we knew Clayton was coming in. We knew that we didn't have a lot of time because can I reveal that we're
Go ahead, break it down for me, fellas.
We are recording this at night. We're recording this at night.
this is
right.
why I feel so moody.
Yeah. So this is why we're talking to the audience
That's right.
because it is
This is
nighttime.
Biofriendly After Dark.
Yeah, it is dark outside because the only time we could get Clayton before the holidays to record this was after he finished every other billion things that he had to do.
Well, a busy, important human.
Technically, I got to go home after this and keep working till about 4.
Of course, it's fine. But you're
But for the
allowed
audience,
For the audience,
you'll make that sacrifice.
we're going to be working all night long.
all night. But every now and then you have to go outside and breathe air and eat food.
That is true.
They don't want you to, but we'll.
No, but I could filter feed sometimes.
Okay, good.
I could, eat air and breathe food.
Okay, good,
That's fine.
good.
That's fine.
It's allowed.
Great.
It's
Good you
allowed.
figured that out.
But we're going to do another story this time. But we realized, so Noel and I were, we've been doing a lot of stuff to wrap up the year. And we just very quickly were like, the night before Christmas. And it was this morning that I looked at him and it was like, this is the New Year's episode. And we were like, so it's
The
a
night before Christmas
It's
is
not a New Year's story.
They're gonna have to
week
wait a
late.
year.
And then we were going, well, what New Year's story is there? I don't even know. Like, there's not a traditional New Year's book or tale that is told. I mean, Auld Lang Syne, that's about it, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, there's not.
Whoa.
There's no traditional New Year's story that I can think of.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
Please write us and fix it if there is.
There's movies and things, I'm sure, but like just a classic tale.
Classic tale.
No,
About
really, not that we could come up with.
Yeah.
That just blew my dang mind.
Yeah.
Wait a freaking second.
Well, you got to write one now.
Yeah. Well, we are.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what's about to happen.
Go on.
So today on the podcast, we're going to read through A Night Before Christmas, but as we go, we are improvising it into a New Year's tale.
Yes.
Oh, no.
It is now the night before New Year's.
The night before New Year's.
So wait.
By-
So this would be New Year's Eve.
Oh, sorry to
basically.
spring this on you, by the way.
By Carroll Cogswell and Givens.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Household.
Carroll Cogswell Givens was the author who wrote this poem.
Yes, it was
She was great.
Carroll
Back in the
Cogswell Givens.
1400s.
That's right.
Maybe it was the 1700s. It was a long time ago. Maybe it was the
Carroll Cogswell
1980s.
Givens.
I don't know. But it was a long time ago. Carroll Cogswell Givens, her full name, C.C. Givens.
Yeah.
C.C. Givens.
Carroll
right.
Cogswell
So
Givens.
we're doing a tribute to C.C. Givens.
We're going to tell the story as she told it.
As she told
those
it.
many years ago, the night before New Year's. And so, for those of you who want to play along with the game of how this is being done, obviously by Carroll Cogswell Givens, not us.
Of course.
Not
Of
us.
course.
Not us improvising on the spot. No. But if you were curious as to the rules we've come up with to try to make this work.
Yeah.
We've got the poem here in front of us on pages. We're going to read a block at a time. We'll each take one line.
Yeah.
We'll have to take that line and change it on the fly.
Yeah.
From, like, for instance, the first one, Twas the Night Before Christmas, went all through the house. That cannot, obviously, a couple things don't work there. First of all, it can't be the night before Christmas because it isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that has to change, and then the rhyme cannot be the same as the one that exists. So you
Done.
have to change the rhyme as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that then sets up the next person who has the next line.
This is the craziest
This
idea.
is
It's crazy.
nothing can possibly go wrong.
Nothing
What
could
could
possibly go wrong.
go wrong?
The next person then has to New Year's up that line
Yeah.
and rhyme with what they were given by the previous person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
This is good.
And then the next person starts over with the, and since there's three of us, we'll all get a chance to do both things.
It's
Over
perfect.
and over again. When we finish a block, we're going to jump back
And just-
we're going to tell you what Carroll Cogswell Givens
was trying
to say in
yeah,
that
yeah,
block and
yeah.
try to kind of analyze it for you.
I love it.
So
I love it.
it's a poetry reading is really what it is.
We've been waiting for the episode that was going to get us into the Smithsonian, and this is it.
This is the one.
This is the one we will be remembered for.
Yes, this is the one we'll be remembered.
Guys, it's an honor to be here for this moment.
Thank you.
This is it. So just so you know, I can't read very well without my glasses. I've gotten older, so I'm going to go ahead and put on my readers.
got
My
it.
apologies to all of you who. Yes.
I also brought my readers because I'm just as old as you are.
Oh.
So I'm just going to put these over my other normal glasses.
You already
You
have
guys
glasses.
look so
Listen, these are my quadfocals.
great.
Quadfocals. So those of you who are just tuning in or just listening,
Barely listening.
and not watching, Clayton just pulled out his second pair of glasses.
And he looks more beautiful than I've ever
and
seen before.
Put them in front of his first pair of glasses on the end of his nose. So Clayton and I both have glasses on the end of our noses.
I now know what a fly feels like with all those lenses and the brrrr.
You look amazing.
Yeah. It's like, what was it? Sting's Vespa and Quadrophenia with all those mirrors. That's what I feel like right now.
You look amazing.
Great.
I don't need glasses because I'm 30.
It's true. It's true. He's a beautiful young man. He's a beautiful young boy.
I'm just kidding. I've actually
Handsome,
been
handsome devil.
wearing glasses and contact lenses for my entire life, and I currently have contact lenses that are weighted so that I can see down and forward.
Wait, shut up. Are you serious?
Yes, I have special contacts that help me read and see.
Bifocal contacts? I've
Yep.
never heard of that.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I've never seen you with the glasses on.
Here, you know the story why. This is a tangent. I got the glasses.
This show has never known tangents.
So this is a tangent. I got the glasses. I was so excited to get them, my black glasses. And while the person was on the phone and they were like, yeah, we're about to order them, and they told me the price, I was like, that's ridiculous. I didn't agree to that. And she was like, well, we did all these things on there. One is to reduce the magnification so your eyes don't bottle cap. and I was like, and she's like, I do recommend you keep that one. And I was like, okay. So I kept that on there. And then she's reading a couple others and she's like, the reflective. And I was like, what's that? She's like, it keeps the reflection off the glass. And I was like, I don't need that. Take that off. Big mistake.
Oh gosh.
Huge mistake. So every time I wear my glasses around the house, if I'm lounging around, Jamie says that like it's just literally whatever light source is coming in, it's completely covering my eyes. You can't see my eyes at all whenever I wear them. So they're not something you can wear out in the world because there's no anti-glare. It always reflects everything, so you cannot see through them.
So you're like Marcy from Charlie Brown.
Yes.
Like you can't see your
I
eyes.
am Marcy from Charlie Brown. It's totally whited out.
Can you blind others with
Yeah,
the, with,
100%. It's very dangerous.
Other people driving are like, oh no!
But I was so cheap. I was so cheap on the phone. I was like, nah, take it off there. I will never make that mistake again. They were like, as I was taking features off my glasses, they were like, see, are you sure?
It's like,
and I was like,
this
yes.
is a bad idea, sir.
Yeah, they're like, we recommend you do these things. And I was like, look, when I picked up these frames, they cost this much money. And you guys are telling me
you're nickel and diming me.
People have died on the freeway, Jacob. Died on the freeway.
that's why I don't wear them anymore. They go,
God.
here comes reflector eyes.
Reflecto.
It comes out in the world and you can't see anything. So I do love my glasses. I just, in 2023, my plan is to get a new pair of glasses that has the anti-glare.
Well, now that you guys have surpassed The Simpsons, I'm sure you could get like 10 pairs of glasses.
Easy. Yeah,
Well, that was a long time ago when that happened. Now that we're Daddy Warbucks.
Daddy Warbucks. So the Simpsons get paid in money and we get paid in not money.
Yeah.
FTX.
Yeah,
You guys get paid in FTX.
We get NFTs.
Got that currency now.
Yes.
That's right. We got all of our money in FTX currency.
Yes.
Their native currency, and so I think we're doing pretty good. We got a lot of it.
We have a lot of it. It's going to be great. It's going to work out in the long run. All right, let's get to the shenanigans.
Should we start? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we should
All right.
start.
All right, here we go.
Who wants to be the first one?
Clayton gets first shot because he's our guest, and then are we going to pass left or right?
I'm fine either way. Here, let's rock, paper, scissors.
here we go.
Ready?
All right.
Okay.
All right, the winner goes.
No,
you're
three of
starting.
us.
Guest starts.
Me
So
and
Jacob
you.
and I
Does that
start.
work?
It goes towards the loser.
The loser.
Yeah.
Goes toward the loser. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Let's try
Okay,
again.
okay.
So 1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
That was
I'm the loser, so it's going to come to me.
that was Jacob who had the scissors.
I had the
Noel had
scissors.
the paper.
Okay.
All right then. All right, here we go. Y'all ready for this?
Y'all ready for this?
Okay.
And by the way, I might have to like slide the book between.
Oh, this. I
folks.
think the book will be running back and forth the whole time.
It'll make a sound.
Also, sound effects are encouraged.
Yes. Sound effects are encouraged.
That's my MO.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm so
I know.
excited. Okay, here we go.
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's opera. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Well, crap! I already messed
All right,
it
sorry,
up.
take two. All right.
You got to change it as you go.
Marker.
He
here
has
we
to
go.
change it as he goes.
That's fine.
'Twas the night before New Year's, and all through the house.
You broke the first rule of the game. Shh, don't tell the audience.
Oh, it's the last.
The last
No,
rhyme.
you can't use the same
You
rhyme.
can
It
edit
has
this,
to
right?
change.
Yeah. Don't worry. I got you covered.
This is you got this,
Oh,
right,
don't
Jason?
I got you covered.
worry,
Don't you
Clayton.
worry.
It's been a long day.
We will definitely
It's been a
edit this.
long
We
day.
will make you look good.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
We will
God
not.
bless you.
We
We
will
will
not air all.
No.
We would never do
We're
that
not
to
going
you.
to air this grievance.
We would never
All right,
do
here we
that
go.
to
Take 3.
Just try
Man.
from the top title and everything.
as Derek
We're
Hahn
editing
once
it.
said,
We're editing the whole thing out. So
acting
you got to
is
start over.
hard.
You got to start over.
Just have fun with it.
Just have some fun with it.
Just have fun with it, Clayton.
You know, acting is reacting.
It is.
All right, here we go. Dear God in heaven. Okay. All right, what action should I do now? I'll do the Scottish one then.
That's right.
'Twas the night before New Year's, and all through the bar.
All through the bar. Got it.
Not a lady was happy. For they were covered with tar.
Okay.
Oh, jeez. Do you want my readers?
No, okay. The police had been called with the
This is going great.
with the panic so loud.
Boy. Oh, no, this is hard. Oh, shoot, we gotta reset. When the panic's so loud,
Yeah, panic so loud.
after hearing the mumbles below, neath the ground.
Below neath. That was that classic speech that C.C. Givens was always known for.
Below-neath.
Below,
She always would
comma,
use
neath the
below-neath.
ground.
Yeah.
Touche, touche.
The college students were nestled on the sides of the walls.
So this is the last line of this
Of
this
this
block.
block,
Okay. The college students were nestled
On the sides of the walls.
on the sides
The
of
cops
the
are coming.
walls. The cops are coming because people are covered in tar.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
With IDs, with fake IDs unchecked. What was the wall? And unanswered calls.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
How could she have known that cell phones would be around back in the
Right,
But she
right.
did.
Yeah.
This is a good place to take a moment.
This
With
is a moment.
IDs unchecked and unanswered calls.
An unanswered call.
Unanswered calls.
Okay.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Historically,
What was
Carroll
Cogswell Givens
Givens.
thinking?
Givens, yeah.
listen, some thought her prophetic.
Yeah.
Most thought her insane.
Wow.
However, what she meant by calls, Noel, you know this better than I. What did she mean by calls?
Of course I do. Dove calls.
Dove calls. Dove calls. They were-
Everyone at the time.
I'm glad you're
would
talking
do
about this.
Dove calls.
Yeah. And how do they sound?
That's right. That's right. Everyone knew how to do that back in the 1830s.
Yeah, that
When
was a
this
big thing in this.
It was the 1830s. That's when it was written.
1830s.
And everybody was doing dove calls. It was all the rage, especially the teenagers.
Especially the teenagers, right?
That's right.
And so they would do that back and forth to each other as a way to communicate so that adults wouldn't know what they were saying because they like to get in trouble going to bars.
Right.
And little is known that Prince himself was inspired by this poem when they didn't do the dove calls because then they would just be crying.
When doves cry.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's this. It's actually about this poem. A lot of people don't know that.
They don't know
There's a
that.
lot. I mean, look, they think that we just pulled this out of the air. This is a classic. This is the only New Year's like understood poem in existence.
Yeah,
classic one.
and IDs, like IDs, we think now in a modern sense like driver's license or passport, but this was just, this was like your papers, you had to go around and show your papers that you were living in the...
Show me your ID papers, please.
Because you were living in the United States. It was the U.S., but it was the 1830s.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
people were like,
Yeah.
show me some papers.
Show me what you got.
Show
Show
me
me
some
what you got.
papers.
And so you had a lot of teenagers, and they were nestled up against walls because all the ladies had been tarred. How did that happen?
How did that happen? Let's find out.
Let's
Let's
find
tune
out.
in to find out.
All right.
And Josie in her bonnet, and I'm sorry, I misread that. And Josie in her bonnet sat upon my lap.
Okay, Josie in her bonnet sat out on your lap. This guy's in the bar.
This guy's in the bar.
That's right.
Yeah, he's observing all this.
Right. And it's happening down beneath the ground.
Oh,
So
this
it's
is
down-
like
Beneath.
lower part
It's
of
beneath.
beneath
Beneath the
underneath?
underground.
It's neath the ground.
Yeah.
Beneath the ground.
Okay,
Sorry. So Josie in her bonnet.
sits on my lap.
Just trying to remember. Sits
Sits
on my lap.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm sorry. It's right here. It's
yeah.
clearly
It's
written.
right there. It's right
Josie
there
in
on
her
the
bonnet
page, Noel.
Sits on my lap. She settled her brain to remember a rap.
Okay. She settled her brain to remember a rap. Of course. Yeah. When outside the bar, there sounded a beat. So when outside the bar, there sounded a beat.
thinking. I spring from the seat when I. This co-written by the Beastie Boys.
That's amazing.
Never was I sitting in a seat before. Everyone around me thought I was on the floor.
The key with the Beastie Boys is you're the last line of every sentence we all
We have to all
say
say
in
it together.
unison.
Well, one day that's going to be what we do for a show. We're going to do a Beastie Boys
future episode.
But where were we?
Good. Oh, God. Okay. So,
sit on
yes.
the lap, heard a rap, and when
Heard a rap.
outside the bar, sounded a beat. They
beat.
heard the sound of a beat.
They heard a
sound of a
yeah.
beat. I sprang from my stool and said, "What is that yeet?"
They used
Was it like-
they
was
used
it-
yeet back then?
was
Like
it-
when you
was
get
it-
rid of something, you throw it away, then you eat it.
So it was,
Yeah.
so it was like, so what is that yeet?
So what is that?
No,
yeet?
no, that's modern. That's modern. This is canon.
We'll describe it in
it's
a
canon.
moment, guys.
In a moment,
We're
in a
going to describe it later. We're still in the poem.
Dare you, sir?
So sorry.
You sprang from the floor.
Sprang from my stool.
Stool.
From my stool.
Yeah, to learn what was that yeet.
Yes.
Okay.
What is that yeet?
Away from the basement, I flew to the sky.
Oh.
And ask all the ladies if they had pumpkin pie.
Okay. The ladies said nay, but what we have instead. That's the sound of the book being passed back and forth, by the way.
Is pumpkins, dog ears, and licorice red.
Pumpkins, dog what?
Ears,
Dog
ears.
ears.
and licorice red.
Licorice red.
Let's
yeah.
take a moment.
One last little thing, and then we'll take a moment.
Okay. Oh, this is me?
Yes.
Oh, this is you, buddy.
So does it have to rhyme with what you just said, or is
No,
it?
you're gonna. There's two lines in one little thing there, as you can see. The first line.
Okay.
So, we prepared for all you to see. We're ready for this.
Traditional treats for this New Year's Eve. Everyone was here, even that guy. Steve.
That guy.
And now I think the audience deserves
I
a
think we
little
need a
bit
little-
of context because
Just
it was
pause.
the 1830s. We need I don't think if you don't understand what's going on in the 1830s, how could you know what
you
poor
know?
C.C. Givens was talking about?
Well, first
At
and
this time.
foremost,
This is my ancestor.
Of course it was. She's a legendary poet.
That's right, Carroll.
We're so proud of Carroll Cogswell Givens.
Yeah. So basically, this was
We start out with
the lady sitting on his lap,
sitting
one
on
of the
his lap,
survivors
right.
of the
Yeah.
tar,
Of the
tarring,
tarring.
which
the only
which
one.
was something that young, college-aged kids used to do to each other
Right,
back then.
right,
As
right.
It was a
prank.
precursor to hazing, really.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
You get all the people who aren't old enough to go to the bars.
Right.
You get them into a place and then you tar them, and
Yeah.
then it's a whole mess.
Yeah, but it's not hot. It's just a little.
Yeah, it's just sticky,
Uncomfortable.
It's sticky.
Uncomfortable.
And so the thing that we've heard that the police have been called, but we don't know if they're even going to respond. We have no idea. Was it something that happened so frequently? It was like we're not going to address every bar tar.
Right, because it happen all the time. In fact, I think it's interesting. She goes into the snacks, into like the events, the dog ears, the pumpkins, and of course the licorice red.
Yeah, which is traditional New Year's Eve fare.
Yes, at the time it was it. You now the dog ears weren't actual. They didn't rip off dog ears.
no.
What were dog ears at the time?
Dog ears were pig's ears, but they felt bad about the pig's ears, so they just called them dog's ears.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
They tasted
yeah.
kind of like bacon. They would
Right.
they would cook them on a.
That's
you know,
right.
on
And it's just cuter.
Yeah, they were pig's ears, and they did that because the children were appalled when they first heard like, oh no, you're taking it from the pigs, and they were like, no, just dogs, and the kids were like, oh, that's
Oh,
fine.
Oh, that's cool.
Because
That
remember,
sounds cute.
this is the 1830s.
1830s.
We
Dogs-
hated dogs back
Dogs
then.
were not domesticated.
They were disgusting.
wild.
They were
wild.
They rooted in mud.
That's right.
Pigs were pets.
That's right.
Pigs were pets. A lot of people don't know that of American history. Is it used to be pigs were domestic pets and dogs were like wild, out in the world,
Dangerous.
monsters
really.
almost.
Yeah.
Werewolves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dog ears.
It was a different time.
Yeah, and then licorice red, it was at the time there wasn't any, licorice red there were more colors than black licorice. There was red licorice, there was black licorice, but they would always refer to the licorice and then the color back
Absolutely.
then. So it was like licorice orange, licorice blue, licorice chartreuse.
Yeah, licorice whiskey.
Licorice whiskey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the only difference with the licorice red, if you know the context, is that was a college only color.
It was.
Like if you were a child, no red for you.
Yeah.
You know, if you were a grandma, you stick with the chartreuse.
That's right.
Red was for college age kids.
And that's what this is all about, a really wild party. Yeah. That's what's New Year's.
Oddly enough, if you tried to have licorice red before you were ready, you'd often find yourself getting tarred.
Yeah.
Hence, but you know what I find very fascinating about this last thing was where are the cops in all this?
Right.
They were called.
Yeah.
Well, shall we find out?
Yeah, we should find out.
We should find
out. And we know that everyone's there, even that guy Steve.
Even Steve.
And the good thing is that
Well-
gets we find out where we're going with that.
Yeah.
Well, when I dug a little deeper into Wikipedia about this book, and I found that this reference to Steve, I was like, who is the Steve guy?
Yeah.
You know, he came from, that's where Wenceslas was at his feast. You know,
King Wenceslas?
King Wenceslas, was on his way home from the feast of Stephen. So what some people think is that was an allusion to that guy.
Wow.
His good friend Steve.
I never knew it.
Steve. That guy Steve.
That guy Steve.
That guy Steve.
All right.
Let's
keep going.
Let's
This
continue
historical
on.
document.
All right. So, with a little old whimper, all tiny and thick. This is when she goes off the rails.
I knew I could kill it with my cousin's brown stick.
Kill what, you might ask? But the spiders, you see,
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
As you see, they're crawling up Shannon's leg. Oh, take a look,
Such classic language.
It is.
Yeah,
That's the these that get you.
Up Shannon's leg. Yeah.
Now Steve. Now Paul. Now Michael. And Bongi. There's more. There's more.
Yeah, you're right.
There's more guys are called.
Yeah, you're right. What'd you say? You said now Steve.
Now Steve. Now Paul. Now Michael. Now Bongi.
Bongi. Now.
Well done, sir.
Now Gertrude. Now David. Now Flip. And Pongi.
You're right here. You're right here.
To the top of her pants shall we beat with this stick.
Cried the champions of defense against ants that were thick.
I think we should take a moment.
we take a moment?
Let's take a moment.
Yeah.
That
here.
stanza right there.
That's a stanza.
That's a big stanza.
Yeah.
And a lot happens there. And it's funny because it's kind of a change because we allude to Steve. And now we've learned how Steve was involved and what he was actually about.
He's a champion.
Yeah, he's a champion.
One of several there at this bar, at this party on New Year's
Defending these
Eve.
poor ladies stuck, and gentlemen also, but in this one case.
with spiders on her pants.
Yeah. And so they knew, I mean, this is what's interesting about this is you got the feeling that at the time, because they were the champions of the ants, that was a common problem. But on this New Year's, the spiders was like, what are we going to do? But at least we have these guys.
At least we have
here.
somebody.
We have this team here.
That's right.
Yeah. So the champions of ants had to pull through and go
And really
outside
attack-
of their comfort zone.
Yeah, and that's a lesson that people were teaching back in 1830s to remind people to be like, don't just stay that one thing. Your skills may be called to fight an enemy that you're not ready for.
Which it is. It's an allegory for for children, I think, to be safe. Because if you notice, it wasn't that much of a stretch. These were ants that were thick that they would fight, right? So it's not like tiny ants. Like they have some familiarity, right? It's like
girthy
just
ants.
get a little out of your comfort zone, I think.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But now the one perplexing thing that so many people for generations have wondered is who's the cousin? Is Steve the cousin? Is Gertrude the cousin?
We don't know.
Who had the stick?
Yeah. Was it Michael?
Was it Michael?
Was it Bongi?
Was it Pongi?
Wow. Let's not go crazy here.
I mean, Bongi and Pongi are often. There were songs written about those two.
Yeah.
You remember those days when they used to sing nothing about Bongi and Pongi?
Just all day long.
All day long.
Kids humming in the streets.
Just Bongi and Pongi went to the store. One came back and then there were more. You know, there was that classic
Classic.
song.
Absolutely.
All right, well, shall we continue?
Yeah,
Let's see what happens next. This is getting riveting.
It's really riveting. This party is so interesting because, like, I think, like, when's the party going to happen? It's New Year's Eve. And
what are they going to do about this tar?
Yeah. They got tar. The cops are on the way. There's spiders crawling on Shannon.
This is
There's
crazy.
people beating her with sticks.
This is
because they're spiders, and they thought they were ants, but they're not ants. They're spiders.
Yeah, there's not thick ants at all. They're spiders.
They'd find out later that the spiders were always drawn in by dog ears, pumpkins, and licorice red.
red.
That was like the recipe for
That's the irony.
luring in spiders.
Giant spiders that look like thick ants.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
let's continue.
Here we go. All right. As Steve's...
He's such a big part of the story.
As
he's important.
Steve's flexing muscles flew round and round,
They stirred up a ruckus from the sky to the ground.
I'm sorry, for those of you not watching, Jacob's preparation is incredible.
Oh, here come the police. They're finally here.
Somebody grab them and give them a beer.
And then, in a twinkling, the lights finally stopped.
It was time for a party, especially for cops.
Is that where I lost my place here?
I don't know where we are.
Yeah,
anymore.
we're on the last stanza here.
As the cops stormed the bar, Steve dropped the bat.
And he yelled, "It's for spiders! Not tar or that bat!"
Oh. Now let's take a moment here.
Of course.
Because I really find it fascinating that she used the same word to rhyme on itself. Bat.
that was always what was so creative.
and bat.
Yeah.
We didn't know we could do that then.
Yeah, they were, and here's the
Well,
police.
she was talking about two different bats.
Yeah, absolutely.
One is a
that's right.
bat.
Right.
For,
The other
for
is
clubbing. The
a
other is a
bat.
bat, the animal.
Right. And so, in the confusion of the police, here they are. They've come to the party. Somebody's handed them a beer. They're like, it's going to be fine. We're not here to do any kind of police work. We get to celebrate.
Right.
But then they look over and they see Steve, or Steve's holding the bat.
Steve's holding the bat.
The bat.
And he's like, oh, no.
Shannon is covered.
There's some violence here. There's some stuff. And he drops it. And then right away he says, there's a bat.
Yeah.
The cops are already too distracted
Right.
by, I mean, that's where we're getting to see.
This is where this party is. It went from a prank
Yeah.
to just sheer madness.
Yeah, it really
Which
did.
again, I think is an important lesson for at the time the children needed to know was that look, this stuff can get wild quick.
Yeah.
Careful.
Especially if there was danger involved and you wanted to do the right thing and kill the spiders on somebody's pants.
Yes.
And but the problem is, this is a 19th century problem.
Yeah.
We must remember, whenever the cops arrived in the 19th century, it was always if you had a weapon in your hand,
Yeah.
you're arrested.
You're done.
Arrested.
You're
Yeah.
done. Doesn't matter.
19th century problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
And you'd be crazy to be holding a bat in a situation like that.
Dear Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were out there killing spiders. This is what they did in ants. Thick ants.
Shannon's pants, ants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny that it could have been a cat, it could have been a rat,
It just happened to be the same thing.
You know,
could have been a gnat.
Carroll Cogswell Givens was a genius.
No,
Genius.
She's for some godforsaken reason.
Just thought
That one line brought this book to the courts.
Oh yeah,
that year. They're
It
like,
was
this is not possible.
Controversial, and they talked about book burnings.
That's right.
Because people were like, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
should we continue
Let's
on?
we
go.
have to.
Let's
we
go.
have to.
Now I'm starting this one off just from the pacing of passing the book.
That's right.
Okay. The bat was all purple and spiked on its wings.
Its eyes were so red. But my, how he sings.
A bundle of youngsters were dazzled by the sound.
The bat was called Humphrey, and he knew how to pound.
Right. Clayton's gonna die.
I have line 3 here.
No, I lined one.
Okay. Knew how to pound.
Yes.
But you get to start a new rhyme.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to figure out how to go with
Well, you
his
know, in the
eyes.
1830s, pound was.
pound was just.
We'll discuss.
Yeah.
Just read it, Clayton.
I'm sorry, it's right here in front of me.
Humphrey.
His toes started tapping. How fun they displayed.
His cheeks were a puffing as he danced through this raid.
Everybody, I can't wait to talk about Humphrey.
Well done.
Where are we at? We're here?
Yeah, yes. That's
Okay.
where the bat, the bat has been
Okay.
it's causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
Pounding on the raid.
Yeah. The students were happy. And
The type is very small. It's really hard to read.
It's very
the
small.
students were happy. Like the days in Vancouver.
Oh my
you
God.
son.
Vancouver was around in 1830, wasn't
It
it?
sure was, and it had just as many syllables back then.
Students were happy. Like the days in
Yes,
Vancouver.
the days in Vancouver. You remember the days in Vancouver?
remember those
Clayton.
Wild times those days in
It's
Vancouver.
okay, the rhyme's right there. It's
right there.
Black and white.
C.C. Givens always knew how to rhyme these words.
You can do this. It's right
So
there.
the students were happy, like those days in Vancouver.
Yes.
And the bat started moving and grooving his maneuver.
Well, writing this book has
This book
in it.
is fantastic. They shouted out loud, "Perhaps all will be well."
They shouted out loud that all will be well.
Perhaps all will be well.
Perhaps all will be well. I'm sorry. I'm just rethinking this line and how to say it correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's in Old English.
yeah, it's in Old English.
This is the part where she went back 2
yes.
centuries.
Yeah.
Ye old dark rain sooth blood tempered well.
again, the double where you do the same, but a different meaning of the same word.
Different
but you
meaning of
say
the same
word,
word. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like one's
Again.
well.
Yeah, well, all be well.
All be well. The other one's literally
yeah.
talking about a well.
A well,
a
a
water
physical
well.
water
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And ironically, she was pulled into court twice.
Yes.
They missed the second line the first time they read it, and then they went,
There was a
wait a
retrial.
minute.
There was a retrial.
Wait a minute. We missed this other well and well. Dang it.
Went over their heads the first
Bat and well and well. My God.
He's
Carroll's
crazy.
doing?
She was crazy.
Is it, where are we? I lost my spot.
Yeah, so
Are
we're right here.
Oh, my God. Are we only there?
We're only there. God, we're only there. Yeah.
The bat The bat took his place and stood his short ground.
And the cops brought out paint thinner to remove the tar around.
And this is finally where we get that relief in the poem.
That's right. That's right. It's on its way.
Humphrey sang the most beautiful note.
And the cops, they said, yea. For this bat is woke.
Fascinating. Let's take a moment
Let's
there.
take a moment.
There's a lot to digest.
There's
that
a
happened.
lot to digest, and that was a lot that happened right there.
That's a thing.
Yeah, so first of all, interesting how she goes into Old English.
Yeah, I've never been able to understand what that is.
I had no idea why she would reference Vancouver, for God's sake.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Well, I think I read somewhere, this might be like an internet rumor of people that get into like the deep dives of this book.
Of course.
But I hear that like there was this thing about young people like dreaming of getting to Vancouver. Like that was like the promised
That was
land
the
back
dream.
then.
That's
It's like
right.
you're going to leave home and wind up in Vancouver.
This
So,
was
like,
right
thinking
before
of-
the California gold rush, by
Yes.
the way. They did not
Yeah.
know that California had gold in it or was beautiful with weather.
Vancouver was all the rage.
Vancouver
Yeah.
Was where it was at.
on the
Yeah.
West Coast. That's where
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
You know?
Way up there.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's right. Of course. That's right. And remember, Robert Frost himself has pondered over this poem.
Yeah.
He couldn't figure out why the Old English.
Why the Old English?
Why the Old English? My God.
Why the Old English?
Some people say that's what killed him.
Yeah. No.
He was 90-something, but
Yeah, he was going to live forever.
live forever.
He was going to.
Killed him.
But this poem killed Robert Frost.
Dead.
Yeah. In fact, it's in the another poem that was written later called "What Killed Robert Frost."
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's
It's a
right.
classic poem.
By Ben Schminderman.
But
Yeah,
this
Ben
is
Schminderman.
But this is the poem. The poem here really shifts, right? Because you get this inkling that it's going to be so much about Steve and the bat and the police.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when Humphrey rolls in, spiked and purple,
Yeah.
maneuvers, dancing, singing, it changes the tone.
Everyone suddenly feels like, okay, maybe things can be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you know what's interesting? There's weapons everywhere. There's cops in the place. Everything at this point has gotten to its peak of insanity.
Yeah. That's
And
right.
we enter this bet. Shouldn't that make things worse? You'd
Yeah.
think, wow,
You'd
this
think
would
so.
this would be insane.
The bat's going to bring danger, but that's not what happened.
No.
But no,
No.
Humphrey brings joy.
That's right.
And suddenly the police can do their job.
It's good.
Steve and the rest, Bongi,
Shannon.
Pongi,
Yeah.
all
yeah.
of them.
Yeah, all
Michael.
of them. The whole
Yes.
gang.
Gertrude.
David.
David, there was
yeah.
a David in there.
There's definitely, we read it. Yeah,
We
that's
read
right.
it. It was there.
Yeah.
No.
They everybody can now get to it because joy has been brought into this incredibly crazy, dangerous, wild situation.
That's right. That's right. And you know, and the beautiful thing about this is, you know, when Humphrey literally flies in, what I heard was that George Lucas was actually inspired by that moment.
Really?
You're kidding
Well,
me.
you could see it in a little movie I like to call A New Hope.
Wow.
When Han Solo flies in and says, "Kid, let's blow this thing and go home."
Oh, that is absolutely Humphrey inspired.
Because you didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You knew that all was lost.
I was lost.
And suddenly,
And who flies in?
Humphrey flies in,
and starts singing
purple and spiked.
Spike Wings.
Purple and Spike. By the way, another Prince.
Another Prince.
That's right.
Reference.
Was
That's
one
right.
of the reasons he was such a huge Carroll Cogswell Givens fan.
He just
one of his favorite authors.
That's right.
Yeah. There are Carroll Cogswell Givens references all throughout Prince's music.
That's
right.
so much.
Yeah.
A Little Red Corvette.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was
absolutely,
based on her other poem.
Yeah. Corvette was just a French word in Vancouver.
Corvette.
It's what the French, the French Vancouverans.
Petit Rouge Corvette.
Yeah. Later, they eventually made their way to Quebec, but a lot of people didn't know that there were a lot of French in Vancouver back then.
And the other one, hence, she was obsessed with Quebec and all that because of the raspberry beret.
The Raspberry Boy.
Raspberry beret.
Beret.
But this book, you can really see why it became a New Year's classic, because it's like everything is wrong,
Right.
and it's chaos, and then at the last possible moment,
Yeah.
the
dawn-
party
the
comes.
dawn breaks.
Yeah, the dawn breaks, and the party comes, and everybody's like, okay, we don't need to, arrest the guy with the bat, and the people tarred are going to be all right, and we need to eat our licorice red and have a good time.
Because
Well, let's find out if
let's
that's
go.
what
Yeah,
happens,
yeah.
right? We got
because we don't know if Humphrey's going to last.
Yeah. We just, this is the end here, so
Okay.
we'll just maybe do this and this,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we'll stop one more time.
That's
and then,
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
love it.
Yeah.
With a flap of his wing and the snarl of his smile.
He shouted in Old English,
Again.
"Yea, lo, I return in a while."
The police, they were stunned. And Steve said, what?
I was supposed to beat Shannon. But now... I'm sorry, this part always chokes me up. This part
It's so
always
beautiful.
chokes me
It's
up.
so beautiful.
Emotional.
But now... I'm a lot.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's oh my God.
I'm a lot.
It gets me every time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He smiled as he cried, and he stared in her eyes. It's the last line at the bottom there.
And it's the last line at the bottom, okay. The tar began to fall away from her eyes.
The one thing I've never understood, gentlemen.
Yeah.
What is a LUT? Oh,
Well, let's talk about after this. We have
I
one more
didn't
little line,
realize.
then we'll
I'm
get
so
into
sorry.
it.
I
I'll tell you,
apologize.
everyone's going to cry even more when they find out what a LUT is.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know that's going to be the thing. Is that
right.
if the audience doesn't know what a LUT is, that's what breaks you in this story. That's why it became a classic.
That's right. That's right. And laying his wings above his sweet head.
He promised to take to the sky after bed.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are we hitting this
Let's
one?
let's go ahead and discuss this before we get to the last stanza.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, I know of a LUT as a lookup table from like color correction and stuff.
But that's not what was
Of course,
going
but that's
on.
not. That came later.
is.
That
Yeah.
came later. No. You got to remember that back then, there was a much more an earlier popular poem, called Reginald and the LUT.
Oh,
Reginald and the LUT. That's where this comes from.
That's where
Really?
and back then it was something everybody talked about, but it was
Yeah.
it was just a very sad story about someone who was always right, always right. Thought they were always right anyway,
oh.
and would go on doing things and was right so often, right often enough
Okay.
that they could never feel wrong, could never feel like they made the big mistake, right? Because every time things would work out for them, The only problem is, in this case, the LUT was actually kind of cursed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, because he, with all of the good luck that the LUT had in everything that was working in the LUT's favor, keeping the LUT right, it was a slow wrong, a little wrong, a minor wrong until eventually everything had barreled up around this poor Lut, and put this Lut into one final moment of choosing. What do I do?
Yeah.
Is that where the phrase "good luck" comes from?
Of course.
It
So it's
changed
not
over
good
time.
luck.
Because
It's
what?
good luck.
Because
It's the
what did the Lut do
opposite.
at the end?
The Lut at the end made dinner for everyone.
For everyone. He made the dinner that he wasn't supposed to make and that he didn't plan on making
so beautiful.
and that he knew would be, in his heart, wrong.
Yeah.
But he did it anyway, and in doing it, he saved the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some say that the term Lut came from, it was like a slang, and how he got to be called Lut was ladle under toes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Correct.
And
Correct.
it was the problem was if
Everybody
you had,
knows this.
Everybody knows this,
Yeah,
but it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
here's the thing: they're serving porridge, they're serving soup, and you got to ladle it out. But
Yes.
if your ladles is under your toes,
And that's
Can't do it.
I understand this poem.
what a
now.
waste that Lut is, right? It's a ladle under toes. How am I going to get the porridge? How am I going to get the soup? That
Could
was-
this possibly be a circular pattern that it comes back around again? It's the bookends from the beginning of the poem when it was neath the ground. Could she be talking about
Absolutely.
the porridge neath the toes? My God.
Yeah.
She's a genius. There's a reason we chose her poem.
Yeah.
This is the reason
And
why
Steve,
she is
And Steve
Carroll
was the
Cogswell.
one who had seen Humphrey, and he had his bat, and he was the one who said, "Am I just a Lut?"
Yeah.
Am I just?
I.
He realizes in
That's
that
why you
moment.
That's why you almost cried.
That-
Because here's the thing: had
I
he
didn't know
not
why.
realized in that moment that he was just a Lut, God, who knows? He's holding a bat. Or he was. I mean, he's got one right next to him. He dropped it.
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
because
yeah,
there was
Because the
a cop.
cop showed up, he
Because
dropped
cop
the
showed
bat.
up,
But there's a bat right there,
Yeah.
right? And poor Shannon, still got a spider crawling up her leg.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
What
how,
are they gonna do?
How, in realizing, and this is my favorite part of the story,
Yes.
favorite part of the poem,
It's the best.
That's right.
because he still has to solve the spider,
That's right.
but he doesn't have his tools.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he's always felt like he's right.
Yeah.
He's a Lut.
That's right.
Steve
And
gotta
that
make a
and the
decision.
bat has kind of given up. He's got his wings above his head.
He's
He's
about to go to bed.
I'm gonna fly, but after I go to
After
bed,
that, he's got to sleep.
Shannon has still got those freaking spiders on her pants.
And also in Old English again. Interesting.
Yeah. Another really bold choice for the time.
Bold choice.
Yeah. Whose turn is it?
I believe it's yours.
Me?
Clay. Yeah, Jacob. Yeah.
It's me.
It is yours.
Okay.
Take us home,
We're
Jakey.
going to wrap this thing up.
Take us home. It's an amazing poem.
Amazing.
The spiders, the spiders started to cry
Oh.
and die on the. No, I'm sorry, I'm misreading
It's so
this.
small. You got to
small.
look.
The spiders would cry and die and then fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right here.
What was it?
That's you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, gotcha. And fall. And away went Shannon's frown, and she rose up a call.
For all New Year's in future, forever, and all.
I've been waiting for this.
We sing out to Humphrey and say, have a New Year's ball. It just gets me.
Guys, that poem.
Have a New Year's ball.
It's just a work of art,
and that
guys.
is what's so great about that is the multiple meanings of that last call out that Shannon makes, right?
Gets me.
And have a New Year's ball. She's
me
not.
every time.
It is a party.
Yeah.
It is a feeling. It is an object.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It is. And Clayton hinted, which is Humphrey is already leaving. And so we're thinking the one thing Humphrey, who's brought the party, could kill the spiders and help save the day. But he's already out of there. Brought the party and then he's splitting, right?
Right.
After he goes to bed.
That's right.
But yeah.
Right, yeah.
But so.
But I mean, he's not. He's asleep. He's not helping.
he's asleep.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
leave.
John.
Yeah.
So you go, how are they going to get out of this? How can we party with
Yeah.
spiders all over at Shannon's legs? And he's thinking, do I pick up the bat again? And then the cops cops are going to arrest him, and everything's going to go back to the chaos it was.
That's right.
And it's Shannon who saves the.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry.
And
Well,
all
just
the
so beautiful.
spiders.
The spiders, they just
die.
They just cry and die.
That's right.
And really, it's one of those mysteries because you go, what was it? What do you guys have a
What
theory
really
of
was
what
it?
caused the spiders to just begin kind of falling and dying off of Shannon?
Off of Shannon's legs.
Some say it was the Tories.
You think so? It was the Tories.
Some say it was the Mugwumps. But I say it was the spirit of New Year's.
I think that's the message, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's kind of like you've got to believe.
that's right.
You've got to believe in the spirit of New Year's.
You do.
If you can in your heart know that maybe you've been a lot.
You've been a lot. You've been
Right.
ladle under toes all year.
This is what gets me every time.
Yeah.
Then maybe you can just be there and believe.
Yeah.
And the presence of Humphrey, the presence of the paint thinner to get rid of the tar, the presence of the people around, and the sudden belief and confidence in Shannon
Yeah.
can be enough.
Could be enough.
Could be enough. Historically,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but that's where they got that last line
Yeah.
is why they drop that ball every New Year's Eve
Yeah. It's amazing,
in Town
isn't
Square.
it? It really is.
That's also where the phrase "let's have a ball" comes
Let's have a
from.
ball.
Carroll Cogswell Givens.
And in the late 1800s, it's kind of died down, but there were some zealots about this book, like real fanatics.
Yeah.
And on New Year's, they would cover themselves with very dangerous, venomous spiders.
Yeah. That's
right.
And they
And
would
often-
say
often die.
And often die. And they
That's
would say, if you believe,
Yeah.
the spirit of Humphrey
Right.
Yeah.
will make these spiders die. And a lot of those people, they died.
They died, unfortunately.
Well, we've got
Because
a few
I
less
think-
jerks in the world.
because
Because I think it was more symbolic.
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
It's a
right? I mean,
metaphor.
like, it's you know,
I think creepy crawlies have been on you all year. You're feeling like you're
Yes,
never
that's
going
right.
to escape, but it's the spirit.
you just got to get them off.
Well,
Gotta
and
get 'em
Carroll
off.
was also a big on science, right?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
understood that you're covered in bacteria,
Yeah,
little
yeah.
mites every like you are in all of your life always covered with these things.
Yeah.
And when they need to go, they'll go.
Yeah, and yeah,
Which brings us back to the environment.
yeah.
Yeah.
It really does, and that's
This
why
is an environmental story.
This
It is an
an
environmental
environmental
I'm
story.
glad that you brought that up, Clayton.
I am so
Yeah.
glad, Clayton, that you, not the host of the Biofriendly podcast, really brought us full circle to what
To
it's
why
all-
this is an environmental
why
story.
This is an environmental story.
Yeah.
People have called Carroll Cogswell Givens the very first environmentalist.
Yes, it's true.
Right? She preceded Teddy Roosevelt. She preceded
Yep.
all those folks that were like, the ones. Some people think she was talking about bacteria
Yeah,
on poor Shannon's pants.
yeah, and
That was the very first time that anybody ever washed their pants.
yeah.
It was just smelled like mildew.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
It did.
That's right.
It did, yeah.
I mean, guys, this is a powerful tale.
It really was.
I'm so
touched.
happy that we shared this with the world.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think it gets enough recognition anymore, especially on New Year's Eve.
I don't know if any people nowadays have even heard of Carroll Cogswell Givens
true.
or The Night Before
Well,
New Year's.
Prince sure did.
Prince did. Oh, man. He was such a fan.
New York City sure did.
Yeah, they did.
New York City. Wow, guys.
Who was the other person we said that was inspired?
Truman Capote.
Truman Capote sure did.
No, it was Robert Frost.
It was Robert
Robert
Frost.
Frost.
Oh, well, that killed him. That's right. Poor
Yeah.
jerk. But,
The Tories?
The Tories, they sure did. The Mugwumps, they sure did, too.
Absolutely.
You
George
know?
Lucas.
George Lucas.
Oh, that was a big one.
If it's good enough for George and Han Solo,
It's good enough for us.
we got to bring her back.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that is the Biofriendly podcast, the end of the year, the last episode of 2022.
Okay.
I am so thrilled that we did this together today.
Thank you, Clayton, for joining us.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome.
Clayton.
Thank you for having me, boys. This is always everything I look forward to in the year.
Yeah.
Pretty
only
magical story that I think that one day I'd like to print it up and just recreate everything that we've talked about today and maybe next year. You guys, I'll give that to you as a gift.
I was thinking maybe one of our fans could kind of create a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
With the Night Before New Year's on it.
yeah, and have Humphrey on there maybe.
Oh, totally.
Have Humphrey on there.
With his spiked wings.
Yeah.
His beautiful voice.
And it's-
Purple
Yeah,
hair.
have a ball. Yeah,
Yeah, have a ball.
Have a ball.
Have a ball.
That's a little.
Have a ball.
That ending.
Somebody with a T-shirt with a bat on it, and it says "Have a ball." What is that shirt? Oh,
With a guy who's holding a bat, swinging at a spider on a leg.
When you see that person,
People on the walls covered in tar with cops holding paint thinner.
Oh! You know what it
they're
needs?
giving him beer.
You want to know what it needs? It needs that like classic like painting treatment so you can see the whole scene.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Last Supper level. Like it's literally the scene of the bar, the tar, and the bat, and everything. And you're like, what is that? And you're like, oh, that's 'Twas the Night Before New Year's.
By C.C. Givens.
It's easy.
It's a cross between like The Last Supper and Where's Waldo.
Yes,
You know,
totally. It's one of those things that the more you look at it, the more things you see.
Yeah.
Well, if you stare at this picture long enough, you see a lot of things that she alluded to in the poem.
Yes.
And when you see that person wearing that shirt walking down the street,
Oh, you know.
you'll know.
You'll get it.
You'll know.
You'll feel the spirit.
You'll feel the spirit,
Bacteria will die off your body.
especially off your pants.
Well, thank you again so much. I don't know. Do we bother with the tags? Or
I think it's the last time, right?
It's the last
we give
time,
It a whirl.
so
we don't have Veronica here to
to
help us get through them.
We're gonna try.
But we'll try.
We'll try. And Clayton gets to throw one in for whatever he
just
wants
his
at the
fun
end.
one, whatever he
Yeah,
wants to say,
yeah.
whatever he cares, whatever he loves.
Whatever he loves. Once again, thanks for joining us this year.
Oh.
We will be back in 2023. We're
Yes, we
going to
will.
take a couple weeks off for the holidays. We wanted to give you some good stuff to listen to while you were, sitting around with your fam, and you could enjoy these amazing stories like these. So we thank you for yet another successful year on the show. Thank you for listening. Share. Tell everybody that it's an environmental show, but then every now and then they lose their minds and do something absolutely bananas and crazy, and that's why I love the Biofriendly podcast. So without
we love our what do we call them again? There's a name for these people.
Listeners?
No.
Biofriendos,
No.
we did have a name, but I don't
No,
remember.
at the very beginning of this podcast,
this podcast,
we called them
Naudience.
Naudience.
Our naughty
We love
like
our
to
naudience.
thank you. We'd like to thank our naudience.
I'd like to thank our audience.
especially you. You know who you are.
So that being said, we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Jacob's brain is constantly rebuilding itself.
Don't be environmentally gimmicky.
This guy's got bubbles.
And featuring Todd Water Socks.
Take the W and get on with it.
We assume on this show.
Ghosts are sexy.
Beavers are great.
Oh God, I have one more, don't I?
You do. It is microns.
Oh, we get microns.
Yeah. And then this one I don't think I remember at all without Veronica's
I don't know.
help.
See, this is it's a new one. That's why we don't.
Yeah,
we haven't burned it into our brains. You know what?
Yeah, whatever.
We can have Clayton do the new one.
Plargerphasm.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, you want to close us out with a quote here?
Fear not the thick ants. Humphrey is singing to her pants.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Fear
you
not
all.
the thick ants. Humphrey.
Humphrey is singing to her pants.
I love it.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Biofriendly
That might be my favorite thing we've ever done.
The Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.